Irfan was a 12-year-old boy living in a small village in South Asia. Despite belonging to a poor family, he was full of dreams and had a natural curiosity for learning. His parents, though struggling financially, believed in the power of education and worked hard every day just to keep Irfan in school. They didn't have much, but they gave him all the love and support they could. However, one rainy night changed everything. A tragic accident took both his parents' lives, leaving Irfan completely alone in the world. In just a few short hours, he went from being a child with a family and a future to an orphan with no one to care for him. The loss was unbearable, not just emotionally but practically too. With no one to support him, Irfan's life was thrown into darkness, his dreams paused, his hopes shaken. The house that once echoed with laughter turned silent. The school bag he once proudly carried was now just a reminder of what he had lost. The villagers offered sympathy, but no one could fill the void his parents left behind. Irfan sat alone at night, staring at the stars, wondering what would happen to him now. Would he be able to continue school? Would he even have food to eat? Though the future looked uncertain, one thing still lived inside Irfan, the deep desire to study and fulfill his parents' dream. That burning hope became the only light in his darkest days. After losing his parents, Irfan's life became a daily battle for survival. With no family to support him, he had no choice but to leave school and find work. He began doing whatever jobs he could find, washing cars, working long hours at a tea stall, and delivering newspapers before dawn. Each task paid only a little, but it was enough for a few pieces of bread, and sometimes not even that. Despite the exhaustion and hunger, Irfan never let go of his books. Every night, after finishing his work, he would sit under a dim streetlight with his worn-out schoolbooks. His clothes were old, his hands rough from labor, but his eyes still held the spark of learning. He would read quietly, solving math problems on scraps of paper while the world passed by. Many people who saw him shook their heads in disbelief. Some would whisper, "He's just a poor boy. What's the point of studying?" Others even laughed, thinking education was a luxury he could never afford. But Irfan didn't listen. In his heart, he carried his parents' dream, the dream of a better future through education. He would silently tell himself, "If I stop now, my parents' dream dies with them." Those words became his strength. His torn books were more valuable to him than money. He believed that no matter how poor he was, he could still rise, and that belief made all the difference. One chilly evening, as Irfan sat under the same streetlight with his head bent over a tattered math book, a retired schoolteacher happened to walk by. The old man paused, noticing the boy's dedication despite the biting cold and dim light. Irfan's clothes were thin, his fingers trembling from the wind, yet his focus never shifted from the pages in front of him. Curious and moved, the teacher stepped closer and gently asked, "Why do you study here, child?" Without looking up, Irfan softly replied, "Because I have no electricity, but I still have hope." The teacher stood silent for a moment, deeply touched by the boy's response. In that brief exchange, he saw not just poverty, but incredible resilience and a will stronger than any hardship. That very night, the man made a decision: he would not let this boy's light go out. The next day, the teacher returned with a small bag of old schoolbooks and some food. He sat with Irfan, spoke to him with kindness, and made him feel seen for the first time since his parents' death. But he didn't stop there. The teacher used his contacts to get Irfan enrolled back into school, completely free of cost. For the first time in a long while, Irfan felt something warm grow inside him, hope that maybe, just maybe, the world still had space for his dreams. And it all started with one kind soul who chose to care. As the years passed, Irfan's determination only grew stronger. With the support of the kind teacher and the chance to return to school, he made a silent promise to himself: he would not waste this second chance. Every morning, he woke up before the sun, studied with full focus, attended classes, and spent his evenings tutoring younger children just to earn a little extra money for daily needs. He had no luxuries, no proper desk, no quiet room, and no new clothes. But what he had was rare, unmatched discipline and an unshakable belief in education. Teachers at school began to notice his dedication. Classmates admired his knowledge. Slowly, Irfan started to shine, not just as a student, but as a symbol of hard work and hope. One day, a local journalist heard about his story and published an article titled, "The Boy Who Studies Under the Streetlight." The story spread quickly, touching hearts far beyond his village. People were amazed by how a boy, once an orphan surviving on street jobs, had turned his pain into power. Soon after, a non-profit educational organization read about Irfan. Impressed by his journey and potential, they offered him a full scholarship to study in college, including books, lodging, and everything he needed to focus only on learning. That offer changed everything. For the first time, Irfan saw the path to his dreams opening clearly in front of him. The climb was hard, but now he was finally rising. Today, Irfan is no longer the boy who studied under a streetlight. He is a proud college graduate and a successful civil engineer, dedicated to building schools in the kinds of remote and poor villages where children still struggle to dream. His journey from orphaned child to respected professional is nothing short of inspiring, built not on wealth or privilege, but on perseverance, faith, and compassion. In his office, there's no fancy decor or expensive art. Instead, the most precious thing hangs quietly on the wall, a framed photograph of his late parents, smiling gently. Just beneath it, a small sign reads, "Poverty stole my comfort, but not my purpose." That sentence captures his entire story. Though he once had nothing, Irfan now gives back to those who remind him of his younger self. Every year, he donates a portion of his salary to help orphan children continue their education, buying them books, uniforms, and sometimes even paying their school fees. He visits those children often, not just with money, but with stories, hope, and love. When asked why he works so hard, Irfan simply says, "Because someone once believed in me when I had nothing. Now it's my turn to do the same." His life is proof that circumstances do not define destiny. It is courage, kindness, and the will to keep going that shape the future. Irfan's dream was once a flicker in the dark, now it shines brightly, lighting the way for others.